What's up, guys, and welcome to my channel. My name is Chella the Fashion Fairy, and if you're tuning in for the first time, you're welcome. Please subscribe, and if you're a returning subscriber, you're definitely welcome back. I love you for watching. So in today's tutorial, we're looking at how I made this. Yes. And of course, I've seen that it's a problem for a lot of people to make for plus size like me. So in this tutorial, I'm teaching you how I made this. You can see that it's well fitted. It's not so tight. It doesn't have excess in front at all. And the back is quite fitted. So if you want to learn how I made this, definitely keep watching. See you in my tutorial. Hey soul fairies, and welcome to class. So if you've not watched this video of how I made this pattern, there'll be a link in the video. Kindly click on it and then watch it and join us. So what I'm doing essentially is I'm transferring the front pattern to another pattern paper. I drafted the front and back patterns together, and I want them separately because it's easier. Of course, it's easier to cut it like that. So I made sure I put fabric under it. I do this because it helps me transfer it easily. So here I'm cutting out the back, and I've already traced out the front on the other pattern paper. So I'll be showing you what I have at the end of the day. So going over to the front, I'm just going to use another shade of pencil to trace this out so that you will understand what we are working with. So this is the front pattern that we have here, and I'm just going to cut this out and keep it aside to use and cut the main fabric. So these are the pattern pieces that we're working with, and the first one, of course, I'm labeling them so that you will understand. And this is the back pattern, and the other one is the front pattern. So these are the two most important pieces in this tutorial. So of course you can adapt these patterns into however you like. Maybe adding pockets to it, you can alterate it and add band to it or whatever you desire. So I'm just showing you that I traced it out, and you can see that it was traced out perfectly. So do well to make sure you trace yours out perfectly. So for the darts, I'll be drawing in the dart so that it's visible to you. We'll also be transferring this dart, and I will show you how we do this as we go along. So before we go along, I'll be making an alteration to this pants because I want it a little bit slimmer. So the first thing I will do is to transfer the crease line on the back pattern to the front pattern. So I just placed it on top, and I'm transferring that crease line on just all the way to the knee, and that's it. So this line is a line that assures us balance in order for us to divide our measurements equally on both sides. So it makes sure that our pants come out perfectly done. So this is the line right here, and I've drawn it for us to see. So for the lower part of this, which is the hem, I decided I was going to make it slimmer. So I decided to go with 4 inches on each side. So I measured 4 inches from that line of balance, otherwise known as crease line, and I measured 4 inches like so, and I also measured 4 inches on the other side as well. So this essentially reduces the width of the lower part. So I'll be connecting everything all the way to my knee. Remember that while making your knee measurements, while measuring your knee round, you should add a lot of room for movement. So I added a lot of room for movement, and that gave me more than enough to work with. I'm going to be dedicating a video to how to explain how this can be achieved, so look out for that video. So this is what I have, and I connected it from that 4-inch mark all the way to the knee, just shaping it a bit. Make sure that you have a smooth running, and when you're done, make sure there are no excesses, and if there are excesses, do well to make sure that you cut them off. So moving over to my back, I'm going to be doing the same thing that I did to the front. I measured what I folded in, and it was 1.5 inches. I really don't like cutting my patterns. I prefer to fold them in so that I can also use them to develop any other style line that I wish. So marking that same 1.5 on this side, I'll be marking 1.5 on this other side too, and I'll be connecting it from that 1.5 mark all the way to my knee. So this was how I did it, and I went ahead to fold it in just like I did for the front. So right there, I didn't like the way it looked, so I just showed you I'm going to be cutting it off, and I'm going to be making it a bit smoother. So this is the front pattern and this is the back pattern. So these are the two patterns we're working with. So let's go over to the cutting table, guys. I folded my fabric into two. Carefully placed my front pattern on the folded fabric, making sure there was room at that edge. So make sure you place your pattern away from the fold so that you have enough room to add all the allowances needed. Now for these pants, I added 1/2 inch on the inner thigh, that is the inseam. I added 1/2 inch all the way to the crotch, and I added 1/2 inch all the way to the waist. I'll be showing you as I go along. And then on the side, I added 1 inch. So for the lower part, of course, I wanted this pants to be a bit longer. If you're a tall person, you would realize that you can never have enough pattern papers to do your pants. So do as long as necessary, and on your fabric you are allowed to make it longer. So I folded it in because if you don't do this, you're going to be losing fabric when you're sewing it. So fold it in, added 1/2 inch all the way, and on top 1/2 inch, and by the side I added 1 inch all the way up. So we're carefully going to set this aside, and we'll be working on our back pattern. So folding the fabric as well, just like I did for the front, I'm going to be placing my back pattern like so. And in order for me to know the length that I added, I'm going to be bringing my front fabric, my front pattern, the one I already cut out, and I'm going to be placing it on top, which I will show you. So I like to use pins a lot. If you've been on my channel long enough, this helps to make everything steady. So this is my front pattern. I placed it on my back, just matching my two pattern papers, and whatever excess I cut out, I made sure I cut it out on the back as well. Added 1/2 inch up until this point, and then here I added 1 inch. I added this so that I'll be able to put my zipper, and on the side as well I added 1 inch. On top I added 1/2 inch. What I also like to do is to notch all the allowances that I added to my pants. That way it's easy for me to shape this. So I'm just notching every place that I added allowance, and I'm going to do that for the front as well. So these are the pieces that I have from my front, and I'll be attaching them that way. Setting this aside, let's look at the back pattern, and this is what we have as well, getting rid of all the pins that I used in sticking them together. And I'm going to be opening this as well and make sure nothing is sticking to each other. So I'm going to be placing it like so, and I'm going to be running a stitch line to hold them in place. So this is where I'll be running the stitch line for the front, and also be doing it for the back. So before we do that, let's go ahead and transfer our dart for the back pattern. So essentially you're going to bring your pattern, place it on top like so, and then we're just going to use our scissors to notch the 3 dart points. You know, you have your middle dart leg, your first, your middle, and the other side. So we'll be notching it this way like so, the 3 points, and then I'll be using a pin to hold that place in place. This is just for us to know where our dart leg is going to stop. So I put the pin in like so, and then I pulled it out and I left it where on top of the fabric, essentially in the fabric, not even on top. So I'm going to be drawing a line from the middle dart leg to meet that pin that I added. So this is me showing you that the pin is still sticking out there. So I'm just going to place the ruler on the middle point, draw in the middle dart leg first, and then I'm going to draw in the other sides as well. I'll do it for this side and I'll flip it over and do it for the other side as well. So once I'm done doing this, I'm heading over to the sewing table and I'm going to sew in my darts and then come here and show you. So this is what I have after sewing in my darts for the back. I don't have any dart in front. If you watched my video, you will know why. So essentially for the back, I put loose stitches from this point. This is my zipper allowance. I will show you where I put the loose stitches so that I'll be able to attach my zipper. I wanted my zipper to be at the back. So this is the back and this is the front. So you can see that the front is a bit curved. That's okay. I'll be folding it in like so. When the time comes, I'll also be showing you that. So going back to the back, I measured about 10 inches from the waist to the point where the zipper would stop, and I used loose stitches to do this. So from the top I measured 10 inches. You can do as much as 10.5 or 11 inches for that. So this was where the 10 inches stopped, and I ran a stitch up to this point. So going along in the video, I will be showing you how I would attach my zip. So I loosened this and I made sure I ironed the seam allowance for the zipper open, and as you can see, it's quite flat so that it's easy for me to attach my zipper. So here's the zipper I'll be using for this project, and it's an invisible zipper. I'll be attaching it like so, using the zipper allowance that I left earlier. So for this part, I'll be rolling it in like so, and I'll be doing this before I attach the zipper. I'll also be doing same for the front pattern. Remember, you can add your waistband to this. You can do some alterations to make sure that it falls within the style line that you want. But for this one, I'm just doing a basic trouser for this class. So guys, I've gone ahead to roll it in, roll the waist in for the back and for the front, and I've also attached my zipper to the back as well. I've already gone ahead to iron it, and this is what it looks like for the back. And also going over to the front, this is what the front pattern looks like so far. You can see that I've rolled in the waist and it looks very neat. So now, right sides facing each other, I will be using 1 inch, the allowance that I left earlier, to be attaching the front and back pattern, front and back trouser pieces together. So I'll be using 1 inch by the side. I'll be rolling it the hem of this trouser, and then the middle part as well. I'll be using 1/2 inch to join it in the middle part. So I'll be showing you the way it looks on me, guys. There is absolutely no excess on this, and it looks perfectly fitted on me. Remember, I didn't use any waist dart for the front, and this is how it looks, guys. There will be a very short tutorial on how I made this top. I didn't want to put everything together in one video. So you can see the ease of movement with this pants. It's very free, it's very fitted, and it's very beautiful. If you've not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe and hit the notification bell to know when I upload new videos. Kindly share, and I'll be seeing you in my next tutorial. I love you for watching. Bye.